Welcome to the Let It Brew podcast, brought to you by London Coffee Festival, where we delve into our guests' dream coffee shop. The one rule is that it doesn't need to make financial sense. In fact, it doesn't need to make any sense at all. I'm Alex Dantes-Smith, and without further ado, please let me welcome today's guests. Kurt from Volcano Works and Assembly, and Roosa from Forest Coffee. Roosa, tell me what you do at Forest Coffee.
Forest is a Colombian exporting, importing, and producing company, and I work for Forest as the European sales director. I am also the current UK Barista Champion.
That's pretty cool.
I'm the founder of Volcano Works, and we're predominantly a wholesale coffee company, coffee roasting. And we also have Assembly Coffee under our umbrella. It's not a second company. And still roast the first roast of the day. So get in the morning, fire up the roaster, turn on the fires if you like, and the lights. And so to this day, still set off.
I've also heard that you cook lunch for people.
Yeah. It's it's not so much anymore, but I still make lunch for the staff on a weekly basis now. It used to be a daily basis, but it was just kind of like a big kind of family event.
Is it today?
Sit down, eat here.
Can it be today? I mean, it's lunchtime.
It's close too.
Okay, so we're going to jump into the questions now. Time to build the dream coffee shop. First thing we need is a name. So Kurt, tell me, what are you going to call your dream coffee shop?
Steam. And Steam came about from, I think we're sitting in a chai stall in India. And it was, at the time, it was a kind of a stall, semi-stall, indoors, outdoors. And there was a lot of activity going on, grinding of spices, chopping of ginger, and boiling of water. And there was aroma and spice in the atmosphere. And everybody was looking kind of hot and frantic. And I kind of like this kind of industry and this kind of energy. And my sense of smell and taste were being piqued. I was like, nice. I like the kind of steamy industrial kind of aspect going on here.
Yeah, right.
I thought Steam, it's a nice name for a coffee shop. So
yeah,
I think Steam.
I like it. It's good. It's appropriate.
Yeah.
Yep. Roosa, what about you?
Well, I thought about this, and for me, I'm not actually sure what it would be, because I think that for me, the cafe name would be linked into the area of community that it would be located in.
Okay.
So, or like the street or so on. I'm not quite sure where it would be, and I know that this like sort of like links into the second question, but like in terms of the name, I don't know yet, but I know what my dream cafe would be, so.
Okay, so maybe we will come up with a name during this,
yes,
and we'll maybe add it at the end.
Yes. You can also help me.
Okay, build that one.
All right, well, let's move on then. You've already sort of started to talk about it, but location for your coffee shop, is there a particular country, place, streets?
Well, do you know what? I was thinking about that the idea that I have would work very well in London City.
Okay.
And it would be like bang in the middle where people are stressed and where people are, busy life and there is some footfall. But yeah, I think it would be, or like any major city in the world where there is sort of like a financial district or like super, super busy area where people work, but where they're stressed. The cafe would work very well there.
So specifically the center of the city is where people are most stressed. Is that what you're saying?
No, like it's the busyness. Because like the whole idea of my cafe would be that it's, you calm down.
This is what I was going to ask you though. Is it like in and out, get in, get your coffee, get out? Or is it encouraging people that are stressed to slow down and enjoy?
Exactly.
Okay. So, but you would pick London if you had to pick a city?
Yeah, I mean, I know London, so I think that for me it would be London.
Okay. Kurt, what about you? What location are we going for?
At risk of being boring, I would pretty much put it wherever I am, which is currently London, of course, and Brixton. We have Door, our cafe here, which was another name I was going to say, and I thought I can't go with Door. But
we've already done it.
Yeah, already done it. And we have a second cafe, Volcano Coffee House, over in West Dulwich. And the reason I would put these places here and near me is coffee for me has always been about community, friends and family. I wanted it always to be the best, and I want to share that with my nearest and dearest, family, friends, community. And so, yeah, if I move away from London, that's where I will have my dream cafe.
Okay. No plans to move away though?
No.
Good. Nice. Okay, so both London.
Yeah. If it wasn't London, it would be top of a mountain in northern Italy or something, you know, top of a ski lift when it's all kind of like pristine and quiet. And so that then, you know, your whole factory is peaking at that time. So
this is where I want to put mine.
yeah, how is it?
At the bottom of the slope. After skiing. You know, a nice batch brew after a day on the slopes. It'd be quite nice, you know.
Like it.
All right, so let's talk about the coffee that's being served I know this is a difficult question for coffee people to name coffee roasters that they maybe would like to have service in their cafe, but we're going to try. So you can talk roasters, you can talk origins, whatever you want, but I'd love to know what we would have maybe for espresso, for filter, and maybe a guest as well.
I think just for me, it would be, I obviously would have to have the coffee coming from the friends of mine. I mean, Assembly being one of them, or special guests from Paul, from Lucid Coffee Roasters, from Steven, from Plot. I mean, I have a lot of friends, but I think that I would lean towards their coffees. I think for a batch brew would have to be like Central or South American washed coffee that you can have any time of the day, you know, a big mug of it, or actually now when I'm thinking about it, it could be also washed Ethiopian.
Okay.
But like, you know, like a washed coffee anyways.
Yeah.
Sweetness, juiciness, flavor clarity, like just very sort of cup of coffee that is non-offensive to anyone.
It's an everyday.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it.
For espresso, we could go for a little bit more advantage. Fermentation methods to give something, you know, something that would shine through milk as well. So like potentially, this could be like a bougie one. This could be like something from Paul's menu from special guests.
Okay.
Yeah. Or maybe Plot Icon, something like that. I can't like pin down exactly which one would it be.
Okay.
But something that would work well as an espresso, like a competition level.
Okay,
Yes.
serious.
Like because money is not the issue, right?
Correct, so you can have as much as you want of everything.
If that's the case,
Well, let's start again.
I would have Mauricio Chatas, all the coffees as an espresso.
Okay,
Yes, that's my competition
That's fine.
coffee. So
it's a special coffee for you.
Yeah, special coffee.
Infinite amounts of it is hard to come by, right? So in the dream scenario though,
In a dream scenario,
Yeah.
there will be infinite amount.
love it.
There would be also infinite amount, you know.
And it's free for all the customers.
exactly.
of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What about you, Kurt? What have you got in mind?
Well, once again, it rested anymore, but it's, you know, I feel like, you know, for me, a Volcano coffee, I'm roasting the coffee that I most want to have.
Right.
And there's always one for me from our catalogue, the full steam espresso, that sticks as a single origin espresso. It's a Colombian, and you know, it's very clean.
Right.
It's got lovely kind of strength and complexity to it. And it's quite simple, and you know, simple and inoffensive, not too challenging for it's coffee for everybody, but yet it has enough elements of interest to it.
Right.
And a filter would have to be an assembly, one of Assembly's many kind of single origins.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're ever changing and always and quite often challenging, but in a thought-provoking kind of challenging, not offensively challenging.
Sure.
And, you know, so there's some really nice kind of natural anaerobic fermented coffees about that are. It's hard to name one. This is a bit like, who's your favourite child out of your teaching kind of question. So I'm like, I don't really want to say anything. It's
different every day.
In a different mood, and you know, whether they're feeling upbeat, downbeat. So you know, each coffee serves a different purpose,
Sure.
a different flavour kind of driven thing. But I did have a was it Dat coffee roasters? I think they're Amsterdam.
Yeah.
One called Watermelon Drops. It was a Colombian again. It's an anaerobic.
Would have been.
That was great. I had that on the weekend up in Glasgow, and I just had it. I didn't even ask. I was like, "Can I have a batch brew?" And I had this cup, and I was like, oh, "Now I'll ask, what is it?" Oh my god! Sort of
It's very intense and
blew my face off. It was great in a nice kind of way.
They do some serious coffees, those guys.
It's great.
I have to say, probably the most common response to this question so far has been Assembly. Really, it's like every other person says, I think I'd have a sip. Yeah, there's definitely some themes. Love it. So let's move on. Let's talk about unique traits for your coffee shop. Is there something that your coffee shop is going to be known for? Could be anything. Could be the way you serve. Could be a gimmick or something that's, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm a fan, but cat cafe or, board game cafe or something like that.
Well, now when you're leaning towards that,
Okay.
you know how I mentioned that the cafe would have to be in a very stressful, busy environment where people would come and calm down. I was thinking, why isn't there a cafe that is also a petting zoo?
Okay.
Like you would have all of these cute animals, mainly focusing on like puppies, kittens, little ducklings, little baby goats.
It's noisy, but it's relaxing. Okay.
But because there would be like, in London there's a lot of places where you can go to puppy yoga.
Really?
Yeah. But you,
I didn't know about that.
but you can also just go and like lay in the middle of the puppies and like pet them. And your stress will just...
Nice.
Can we find out where that is and record an episode there, please? That sounds great.
How can it be? You're having a stressful meeting and you're like, and then you go out, you walk to this cafe and there's like all of these cute animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm on board. I can go.
Snip the puppy.
Who doesn't like puppies? Who doesn't like kittens? Makes sense.
Yep.
So that would be like my unique trait.
I approve this message.
Yes. So it would be, but can you see why now? It would have to be in an area where people are sort of living a busy life.
It works.
Being stressed. Because the whole idea is to calm down your stress.
Absolutely.
You'd have a cup of coffee, but you can also sit there with the little duckling or with the little goat.
I love it. Would you? So I think we know the name of your coffee shop. It's the Petting Zoo.
The petting zoo. Yeah, I was thinking like Rancho Rosa or like something like this.
It's nice.
Because I would like to have horses too.
Oh wow. Okay. I can't come. I'm allergic to horses.
Well, you could go into separate area.
Oh, a special room just for me.
Special allergy area.
We can get you some like tiny little fish or something.
Oh, thanks.
Goldfish.
Can't pet a goldfish.
Well, you can feed them.
Okay. Let's move on. Tell me, what's your unique trait?
I think in keeping with the steam name, there had to be an element of steam and industry in there. So I think I kind of like sitting in a machinery. I feel kind of calm, machinery that's turned off or machine that's gently whirring or turning over kind of thing. So I like kind of spinning wheels and moving machinations, moving in parts. So I think it'll be a kind of a semi-industrial space, something you can sit back and sort of a bit like white noise and drift off and be contained with your own thoughts and focus on what you're tasting. And
That's cool. I like that.
so I would have a kind of a burst of steam every now and then back in the room, and so it's kind of a semi-industrial kind of a vibe.
I'm into it. It sounds good. There's something about like background noise. Some places don't get it right, but that sounds like it would be quite cool just to hear the whir of some sort of machinery. Yeah. All right, nice. Okay, let's talk about equipment. What are you putting in your coffee shop? Obviously, as coffee people, we are surrounded by espresso machines, coffee grinders, kettles, all sorts of stuff. But is there a particular product that you're like, that has to be in my coffee shop?
I think that for me, the purpose of coffee machine would have to be something that it takes away from the barista of spending too much time on it.
Okay.
So I would like the idea of, Everest's machine where things are automated. I went to, I was in Netherlands last week and I went to a cafe called Uncommon.
Okay.
And they had this absolutely fantastic machine. I think it's from Mava.
Okay,
that is
yep.
also like automated. I was like, why doesn't other cafes have this? Like, of course, like...
They're also looking to...
Yeah, of course, as a barista, I like all the actions, but like for this purpose, because you would also like the baristas to be able to like...
They need to be relaxed too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like there would be like element of automation in the cafe.
Because if they can do it with one hand, they can have a dog in the other. Yeah, okay.
Control.
It's nice.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think that would be it. Something quite automated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Well, it works with your theme, so yeah, I get it. Yeah. Kurt, what about you?
Total opposite. I do
Full manual. levers and everything.
I would definitely go for the full theatrical experience.
Okay.
So, there's a machine, I think it's the La Marca. It's called Disco Volante, which translates loosely as flying saucer. And it was designed by an architect in late 20s, and I think put in production in 1955, something like that. And it's a full big lump of metal, beautiful thing, shaped a bit like a flying saucer or a stingray. And it's got these big spade handles. So it's all kind of lever pull, and your pre-infusion, and then you lock it in, and then you let it off. So it's timers in your head, extraction, so it's a real full-on, hands-on, and organic theatrical experience. But I think I'd go with that, and of course, pimp it up a bit with POD, a bit of temperature control.
Okay, yeah.
On there, so modernize it to a certain.
Yeah.
Taking away from its aesthetic. And grinders wise, there's so many great options out there. What we've got on the bench over here, the Malcotic, the E65S or the 80, the grind by weight.
Yeah.
Something like that. I just love the look of it. It's got kind of a classic look with another interface on it, and it does a really nice job all day long. So I'll be getting through a couple of kilos a day on that. So.
Nice. It's just going to be busy. It's going to be popular.
Busy. It's going to have big muscles.
Coming to see the barista workout.
Just like roasting, I'll do the first 10 dress and then.
Nice. Love it. So let's move on to food. Are you going to have a specialist food item in your coffee shop? Sometimes food is an afterthought, right, in coffee shops, but...
It's a bit like your children again, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which one do you like best?
Yeah.
I like donuts, I like soups.
So if you had to have one specialist food item that your coffee shop is known for, what are you going to have on the menu?
I guess I'd go sweet, sort of what I feel like right now. And there's an Antipodean thing, a cake called Lamington, and there's been the cafes are picking them up and starting to produce them these days internationally. And essentially it's a sponge, and this particular one is a New Zealand baker, and she dips it in this melted jelly and marshmallow mixture, dips the sponge in it, and then rolls it in coconut. And oh goodness, very sweet. Yeah, very sweet. So I'm going sweet with it.
All right.
I mean, it's too traditional now, and old hat, but otherwise avocado toast. It's avocado toast and a lamington to chase.
That sounds good. That's a good combination. Okay, Rosa, what about you?
Well, I thought about this, and I love the look of like a very sort of fancy piped cakes.
Okay.
So I was thinking it could be a cake, but then at the same time, I absolutely love the culture in Denmark where you have like the breakfast bun. So you just have cheese, butter, and then the breakfast bun. So I think that I would have to lean towards the breakfast bun.
Okay.
It would be
Tricks.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
it would be just like, as much as like I love, cakes and stuff like this, I love baking myself. But I think that it should be spread across the world, and in this my cafe with the petting zoo and stuff, it would be a little bit hard to be eating a cake because you would have to
already
have like
already quite busy.
yeah. So it would be just like like you have it in your hand and then you eat it.
Okay.
Simple but very, very good.
Super yet dynamic.
Exactly.
It's my favorite, Annalie's favorite question, because it's very interesting, but it makes me hungry because everyone's always got these great ideas for nice food to have with coffee, and it's like, I haven't eaten anything today. So, lunch, please. And I was really hoping it's your cooked lunch for everyone day. Cool. Okay, let's go for some controversy. Let's see if there's a particular coffee item that you will refuse to have on the menu.
Dots pumpkin latte.
Oh, easy. That was too easy almost for you, yeah. But why? Why not? What is it you dislike about
anything.
the PSL?
Anything that takes away from the originality, the original flavor profile of the coffee. It's pointless. Maybe I'd have the pumpkin thing as a shot on the side. I don't mind doing shots. It's even like the Italian version with the grappa in it, café corretto.
Yeah.
I can't do them. Can I have the shot separate, and then I'll do one then the other.
Right.
I can't mix them together. But
You can't have Torba coffee.
no, I just can't do it. It's just I have to have the two separate experiences identified by my system.
I mean, this was the first question that I hadn't finished saying the question, and you'd already answered. So you were quite passionate about this one.
Thank you, man. Oh, yeah.
Okay, Rosa, what about you? Is there a drink that you're refusing to have?
Not so much. I would say that I would continue with the simplicity you also into this cafe is that one of the experiences that when I worked as a barista, I remember from Finland, where a man literally just walked into the cafe and just said coffee. And then I was just at first I was like, that is rude, but it wasn't I kind of like it.
Yeah.
It's just coffee, no please, nothing, just coffee. And then
What do you take that as? Is that this? Black coffee?
well, yeah. So it would be just there would be just coffee and then with milk and nothing else.
Super simple.
So you could then you could ask and there would be only 2 different sizes of cups.
Because there's no prices, so that doesn't matter.
Yeah. So and specifically, I would have the Mauritius coffee as an espresso.
Mm-hmm.
So you would either have it as an espresso or with milk.
Okay.
And the barista would be the expert of just making you a coffee.
Okay.
So you could just come in and just say coffee.
So your answer is you are refusing to have a long list of different coffees?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
It would be just simple. The menu would be tackle block like this.
Okay.
You look, it's just you know what you're there for.
But it's not because you don't like these coffees, you just want to simplify
I want to simplify it.
because they're stressed.
Yes, exactly. And the whole idea is to
Remove the choice.
You just go on coffee.
I often find I walk into a coffee shop and I look at the menu and I don't know what to get. So I just get a batch brew every time. And then I'm like, oh, they had a special pour over, I should have had it and didn't have it.
They can work though.
Yeah.
It's sometimes nice to have the whole list. I like to have this one, that one, and that one.
Well, you mentioned special guests and you've got 15 choices and it's can you pick one for me? Okay.
Throw it out.
Nice. So we've built the dream coffee shop now. Did we decide on a name yet, Rosa, or do you want to pick one? The petting zoo?
No, I don't know. Because it could be, it could be, if it would be in certain street in London, it would be just named after the, or it could be the financial cafe. But, surprise, it's actually petting zoo. So, I don't know.
The business cafe. And then there's a sign that says, no business allowed.
Really the business of cat pet.
I did. This is such a good idea.
There you go. I'll invest. Okay, so there's one last thing to think about here. It's very important. You've built the dream coffee shop. You're sitting in there. What is the soundtrack? What music are you listening to? Is there a particular song that you want to be listening to in your coffee shop? Other than, of course, the whirring of cogs and machinery and woofs and quacks.
I think that for me, it would have to be not so much of a song or anything, but there would be a lot of acoustic treatment in the cafe. Because you're coming to escape the stressfulness of your daily life at work and so on, and the busy sounds of London.
Yep.
So instead of having something blasting, you would actually have quietness and peacefulness.
Spa vibes.
Yes and no.
Bird song.
It will, waterfall or something, rain. No. There wouldn't be. It would be just acoustic treatment because the animals would already make quite a lot of noise.
Yes.
So you would have to have acoustic treatment.
Okay.
And do you know what? This is actually something that I know one cafe that I visited in Denmark. In real life, they had acoustic treatment in there.
Nice.
And it was such a pleasant experience.
Okay.
So I would like to insert that also into my hypothetical cafe.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah, me too. I like that. I've got a similar kind of a theme, and it'll fit in nicely, I guess, with the kind of industrial whir and the click. And there's Aphex Twin ambient tracks, and has just released a extended mix edition of ambient mixes, and it is a lot of sort of whirring and bleeps, but each individual track takes you on a different level of journey. So I think
Nice.
it's fit in nicely with the kind of everything going. It's like walking to a cushion or a cloud of noise, and you come into it. It's not noise, like hard noise, right? It's soft noise. And then, funnily enough, I spoke to my mother last night, and she is hi, Mum. She is going to Melbourne today to have a procedure and a medical procedure. And in doing that, she was asked to put on a soundtrack, and so I recommended Aphex Twin 0. And
Brilliant.
she said, "Oh no, I've got this Tom Jones's version, it's Purple Rain," which I'd never listened to, and I really haven't. And then, so I listened to Tom Jones's version of Princess Purple Rain.
Okay.
Beautiful and quite nice to walk into. And
Love it. Brilliant. Okay, well, we have built two pretty interesting coffee shops here.
Yeah.
Did not see it going towards the petting zoo when we sat down, or the industrial warehouse coffee shop. So two very unique takes on that. Thank you both for joining us for this. It has been good fun. And you've been listening to the Let It Brew podcast, brought to you by London Coffee Festival with me, Alex Dantes-Smith. If you enjoyed the podcast, please remember to subscribe on your favourite platform so you never miss an episode. Until next time.